So, first of all, great job this weekend. I saw a ton of pictures and videos of you guys out there battling. Awesome job. Very proud of you guys. And for the ones that didn't wrestle, that's okay. But for the ones that did, you represented our club tremendously. I heard nothing but good things from the coaches and from the parents, and it sounds like it was a great weekend. For me, it's really neat to be able to be where I was. And I'll explain where I was. I was in Ohio at probably the toughest tournament in the whole entire country for high school. And I was watching, we had 6 kids from this school, Staley, competing there. And most of them started when they were your age, you little guys, 5, 6, 7 years old. So they were competing against the best in the nation, very, very best. It's called Ironman. So it's neat for me to be able to be there in one place and have a whole bunch of coaches and kids back here at home competing and everything running smooth. And it's a full circle. Okay, so you know there's a bunch of you kids right now that are first, second, third year wrestlers. Imagine being 16, 17, 18 years old and you're competing against the very, very best kids in the whole entire country, and you're winning some matches and you're beating some kids that have committed to big schools. It's really neat. So as you continue to wrestle, I want you to think about your goals, what it means to you, right? Would it be cool for you to wrestle in college? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Is it just fun for you right now? Are you just coming just for fun? Yeah. Okay, that's cool. But as you get older, as you grow in the sport, what do you want it to look like for you? Do you want to be one of the best kids in the nation? Yeah. You don't have to answer that, but if you do, you got to start thinking a little bit differently. All right, we're going to go to the NCAA. The NCAAs are here this March for the college. You got to start watching that stuff. You get better just by watching and being around it. So the college finals are called NCAA championships. You guys watch that for basketball. It's called March Madness. You guys know what I'm talking about for basketball? Well, in college it's called the NCAAs, and that's in March, and it's here in Kansas City. So start talking to your parents, like maybe buy some tickets. Go watch that stuff. Okay? Anyway, coaches, before we get into the technique section, do you guys have any shout outs from this weekend?
I got one just from an attitude standpoint. Eli. He's in what are you, 80 pounds, something like that? That's a pretty tough weight bracket. 10U. Okay, even worse. So he's going up against kids that might be a little bit faster than he is, a little bit stronger. And he battled. He really showed heart, effort. When you looked at the kid before the match, you can see it in his eyes. Fired up, ready to go, no excuses. The match before, he probably, to be honest, you felt it. He kind of got smoked, and it didn't hold him down. Second match, didn't matter who he was lining up against on the other side of the mat. He had the right attitude. He's so great smacking his, psyching himself up, and really, really appreciate the effort, man. Keep that up.
2 claps on Eli. So much of the sport is mental. If you get beat, you got to shake it off and get back up and do it again. Any other coaches want to shout out before we keep going?
Yeah, Cash. When you were in your matches, we worked on stuff right before the matches, and you did exactly what we said. You looked at us, you didn't try anything crazy, and you did what we asked you to do, and the result wasn't first place, but every person you wrestled, you did. So.
2 claps on Cash. You pinned everybody you wrestled? That's awesome. So my goal as a coach is to develop you guys, okay? It's development, long-term athletic development. It's not to win right now at all costs. It's over time, how can you progress? Okay, how can you get better and better every day? Okay, and if you do it over a period of time, you will become very good. And if you want to, you can become one of the best in the nation. You can, if that's a goal of yours. But that's what's cool about wrestling is there's never an end. And you don't ever stop getting better. Okay? It's not like you've reached this right here and now I'm done. Okay? So we're going to continue to talk about that every Monday after tournaments. Okay? Can you pull up your notes? I got a couple off the top of my head. I know you put a long list out there, Don. I want to make sure I touch on them all. So, one last request. Anybody else want to call anybody else out?
Trip. I got to coach one of your matches, help coach one of them. That particular match was a pretty tough match. I think we ended up winning 6-0, but what was important about it is you listened very well while we were coaching that match. You did exactly what we asked you to do. You worked, you got points. You had to work for them all, but you got it. Good job.
2 claps on Trick. All right. So, part of what we do as coaches is we take notes and we share them with each other, and we're going to talk about some of these notes from the weekend. Number 1, this is really important. When you're out there wrestling, in between periods, the whistle blows, right? Period 1 is over. Okay? You're out here in the middle, and my coach is in the corner, Coach Pulma. Instead of standing out there in the middle, looking around, looking for your parents, looking at the referee, your eyes should go directly to Coach. He might have a very important message for me. He may see something like a certain move that you might need to do to pin this person. Or he may want to tell you, hey, if you get his 2-on-1 and you get to the corner, shoot with both hands instead of one. You were just reaching with one hand, shoot with both hands. And then you have a little reminder like, oh yeah, okay. It's those little moments of being coachable to help you win more matches. So in between periods, you have to look at the coach immediately. They flip that little deal. They flip the red and green button to see whose choice it is. You're looking right here. I'm even drifting towards him so I can hear him. What's up? What you got for me? Right? So you just got to get in the habit of that. There's too many times, I know me personally and every coach in here is screaming at the top of our lungs to try and get your attention. Trenton! 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 Hey! And I'm walking out in the middle of the mat like this. Hey! I'm just trying to get your attention. Don't make us do that. Okay? We need your attention right in between periods. The other thing is we will also decide whether you go top, bottom, or neutral, or defer. Okay? It's not your choice. We don't want you making the choice on your own. So if a ref flips it and it lands red and we're red, you look at the coach and he will tell you what to do, or she. Okay? We will tell you what to do. That's very important too. It's strategic. You guys understand that word strategy? It's doing something very specific to get an outcome that you want. It's strategy. You're planning it. And then body language pre-match and during match. When you are before a match, okay? Before you go out and shake hands, are you out there like this, sulking around? Okay, looking scared? Are you walking? Are you hopping? Are you getting ready to go? Are you shaking your arms out, kicking your legs out like this? That shows you're ready to go. Okay, Barnes does that really well. He's always done a really good job of positive body language. He's never just kind of out there just like this, like shaking hands like this. If I'm wrestling somebody that looks like that, I already know right here, I'm going to kick that guy's butt. They're not ready to go. Sometimes it's just about faking it until you make it. Bottom. So on bottom, if we're on bottom, Coach Hughes, Coach Barry, come over here. Somebody, whoever gets to it. Sorry. Okay, if we're on bottom and we're wrestling, as soon as the whistle blows, first of all, we cannot keep our head down. We're keeping our head down way too much. If I keep my head down, he can do all kinds of bad things to me. If my head's on the mat, that's bad. Bad, bad, bad. I have to always keep my head up. Okay? So as soon as that whistle blows, my head is up. Even if he chops me, okay, my head is up. I'm catching. My head is up. If my head is on the mat, he can pin me in 100 different ways. Okay? So, head, well, that's right. You don't even have to know what you're doing to put somebody on their back. In a quad pod, Okay, so if we go quad pod, remember quad pod. I really love the quad pod because it keeps us from being a dying duck, right? So quad pod, we turn in here, and as soon as we turn in, we got to get to our feet, okay? This is the number one escape that I want us to learn right now, okay? Everybody up the whistle. Instead of just going like this, and then he's chopping and going like this. We burn so much time here. We got to get good at hop the whistle, embracing the chop. Boom, he goes to chop. Nope, I'm not going. And I turn in here, and I put this foot up, and I just start walking up, and I start grabbing hands, okay? And then I start getting away here. We got to start being better at that. Off the whistle, firing up, it doesn't work a lot. So we got to get better at our quad pods. Top. A lot of notes here, running out of time, but I'm going to pick not jumping move to move, okay? So if coach is on top and he's got a half, all right, and I peel it off, don't go to a crossface. Don't peel it off and go to a crossface right away. Stay with something. Stay with your half. Just because I peel it off doesn't mean you're just automatically going to jump to something else. On top, okay, go back right to the half. Go right back to it and just keep running it. Keep running it. And I peel it off, go back to it and just keep breaking my position. Gotta be disciplined on top. So many times we just run through like, oh, we're gonna do a bar, we're gonna do a half, we're gonna do a tilt, we're gonna do a ball and chain. Get good at one or two things and really run those until you get comfortable with them. Stop jumping around so much on top. And then a few other things in here. I'm gonna say this. It's part of your job to tell your parents. Everybody listen to me. It's part of your job. Eyes right here. Part of your job to tell your parents to not come down on the mat and scream and yell during your match. Period. If they're yelling and screaming at you and getting your attention, you can't hear us, the coaches who know wrestling. Okay? My wife had to just make herself sit in the stands. She learned early on that she lost her control, she lost her temper. It's an emotional sport. Okay? We don't expect them to be quiet. If they want to yell, let them yell from the stands. But if your parent is not a coach and doesn't have a USA coach's card, they should not be in the corner yelling over a coach. Well, guys, I'm just telling you, we will just walk away. If that happens to us, I'm going to start telling all of our coaches, we will just walk away. Okay? And we're not going to fight with your parents. So you got to tell them. Coach Gleason said, you need to be in the stands during my match. Now, if they want to be on the floor, filming from away, that's fine. As long as their mouths are shut. Even when I have other guys coach my son, Hendrix, I try and keep my mouth shut. Okay? Just because if they're actually coaching them and I'm filming, it's not productive for too many people to yell at you. Okay? That doesn't mean they don't love you. It doesn't mean that they're not supporting you. I'm not saying they can't cheer for you. But if I'm right here coaching, I'm in the corner like this, and I have a parent screaming over me, it is not good. It makes you more anxious, and it keeps you from hearing us and what we have to say. So I'm asking your guys' help. You got to tell your parents, don't come to the mat with me. Okay? Watch from afar. I promise you, we will be able to coach you better. You'll be able to listen better, and it'll keep less fights from happening. Parents don't need to talk to the refs. That should never happen. Okay? That's our job. So that's our big ask for you to help us out there. All right? Any other coaches have any other notes?
Neutral collar tie. They're constantly going straight to a collar tie instead of anything else. Lots of kids get that.
Okay. So, at Ironman this weekend, I saw some of the best wrestling. It's unbelievable. And some of the best wrestlers, they did one of two things. Okay? If their hand was here on a collar tie, it was here. It was moving them. It was snapping them. Okay? So we have to get in that habit. if we're going to touch them, we're going to move them. I cannot leave my hand here. The other thing is, to neutralize the guys that were really good at that, is getting our 2-on-1s. I'm having a feeling we probably weren't getting our 2-on-1s very well. If I have a 2-on-1, okay, and I'm circling to my tie, we'll teach you how to get it better. But what's this guy going to do? It's very difficult. And for him to get out of it, okay, he opens himself up to attack. All right? So we got to get to our 2-on-1s. I'm going to preach it and preach it and preach it. If I don't get this hand because he's hiding it, okay, I'll get this hand. And if he's keeping his hand back here, guess what? I'm going to bait him. I'm going to walk into him like this. Eventually he'll grab something and then boom. Okay? So if I can't get my 2-on-1, that's the best thing to do. Here you go. Now I got it. We have to start setting up our ties that way. Okay? And stop just going out like this. Bad. It just is. It's bad. It's not good. All right?
Coach, please.
Yeah.
I know we've gone over this before, but what do you do if someone comes out and reaches both hands to your head?
Somebody reaches both hands in my head.
If someone comes out, yep.
Boom.
Too many of us are going up top, playing that game with them.
Trying to pull them down instead of going under, getting leg.
That's so easy. That's the best takedown. That's the easiest takedown. If I'm in good position, my hand's on the mat, somebody reaches up, I am popping, level changing, and blasting them. Blast double. No coach will ever get mad at you if you try that. Okay? Now we got to get to where we're bringing our hips and we can't shoot like this. Okay? But, boom, pop. I'm out here in a good stance. Popping and going. Coach, you got anything? Okay. All right, I think we're good then. So, let's have a good practice. Let's have a good week. Proud of you guys. Ready? 1, 2. Go back.